Assalamu alaikum everyone, my name's Farah Halaby and I'm a professional Muslim life coach, and I thought I'd just pop on tonight to share a reflection that I've had for the last couple of days actually, but it's kind of come out more so today. And it happened, this reflection is something that I've been thinking about, but it was more apparent when I took my little pussycats. Sorry, I'm just looking at the moon, and mashallah, it's just beautiful. It's perfect. I took my little pussycats to have them chipped, so that we could, just make sure that if they were to ever wander off and be found by someone, that if someone took them to the vets, they would, they'd know that they have a home and that they belong to someone, and where they live. And I took my youngest daughter, and actually I took both my daughters with me, my husband and I, we went, and they wanted to come. They wanted to make sure that, the pussycats were okay, and that, they were just showing a lot of concern. And it shocked me today because they were very concerned. My eldest daughter was very concerned about about pussycats in the car, because they weren't particularly, loving the car journey. They were in the pet carrier, and it was hot, and there was traffic, and it wasn't the greatest of journeys. And my eldest daughter's concern for her pussycats was it was very sweet to see, but she was getting quite visibly distressed by the distress that she saw in the cats. And my youngest daughter was trying to keep them all like calm, and they were fighting over who was going to calm down the cats, but their fighting and their arguing wasn't conducive to a peaceful setting. So in them trying to take care of their pets and to show concern, and they're almost competing over who was going to calm them down. No, it's my cat, it's my cat, it's my cat. No, I'll calm them down. No, they don't like you, they want me, and you're making noise and it's making them upset. And whilst that, would have, a couple of years ago, I reckon, that would have sent me into a whole mum rage, just that annoying thing, you're in the car, you're in traffic, and the kids are fighting, and it's not the best place to be sometimes. But watching them two and seeing what was going on for them was something that has changed very recently, in terms of, I suppose, in my parenting journey. And what has changed more so is seeing my children for not what they're doing, not the behaviour that they're exhibiting. Because when I do that, all I can see, and especially it's never the good behaviour that I focus on. It's never we never sit there thinking how wonderfully behaved our children are behaving. It's usually when they're exhibiting behaviour that we don't like, that we get into our heads about how these kids are their behaviour. They are that shouty, they are that rudeness, they are that, back chat. But as I was watching them, their behaviour, their loud voices, their fighting, their arguing, it was indicative of how they were feeling inside, and how they wanted that they were showing, in a very challenging way, but they were showing concern, they were showing love. And we had spoken throughout these days of Dhul Hijjah, we've spoken as a family about how we can, what deeds we can do, what good actions that we can do, what things that we can, kind acts, outside of the usual acts of worship, but how we transfer and translate that into our everyday behaviours. And so we'd spoken about taking the cats to get chipped as an act of kindness, as an act of care, as an act of showing that we take our pet owner responsibilities very, very seriously, and that it was a real way of showing love and consideration to our furry friends who are hanging around right now. And so in doing that, I could see that the cats were quite clearly distressed. They were trying to show that kindness and compassion to the cats, and we tried to get to them to show it to each other, which had been great. It's not just reserved for furry friends, it's reserved, it's for everyone. But I could see what was going on for them, so I didn't have a go. We talked it through, And yes, it did get a little bit heated at some point, but we just continued speaking it through, continued talking about the intention, continued to reassure them the cats were fine, that they, that they're voicing, they're meowing quite loudly because they're voicing they don't want to be there, but they're fine, they're okay, as long as we keep, calm. They were being fed treats and they were stroking them, and, subhanAllah, they were fine. But what I could see in my children, in my daughters, was this care for something other than them, this care for these little furry creatures that they have, that they've grown to love, that they, that they are very, very concerned about. And seeing them through those eyes as caring children, as loving children, as responsible children, not as shouty and annoying and just not caring about each other. It was easier to deal with them. It was easier to manage them, because seeing through them through that lens doesn't change their behaviour, it changes mine. It changes my way of dealing with my children. And as we are in these, in these beautiful days, still in the best days, subhanAllah, of the year, everything that we do, every kindness, every act of intentional goodness is rewarded and blessed. And we can turn anything into an act of ibadah. And I know that so many of the clients and the wonderful women that I work with do get very overwhelmed with with the thinking that they should do more, they could be doing more, they're not doing enough. And all the while they focus on what they're not doing, it's not moving them forward, it's just keeping them stuck. And so by helping them through this process, helping them through the understanding of how their mind works and what is going on for them, and how they can move forward, how they can see things differently, how creating and intentionally creating beliefs that serve them, intentionally focusing on what serves them, because what you focus on grows. And if you're focusing on what you haven't done, what you can't do, or behaviours of other people or things around you, the challenges, that's all you're going to see. But if you focus on what you can do, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you the ability to do, if you can't see a way out, then trust that He knows, He can. Because when we get stuck in the problem, we don't see the solutions, and we think that it's all on us. But when we look at what these beautiful days are, that ability, that opportunity to really see how everything in our lives, it's all dependent on Him. It's all dependent on Him. Have you ever thought about that problem that just suddenly seemed to be solved, or it wasn't as big a deal as you had talked it up to be in your mind, or how someone reacted actually not in the way that they were fine, that they didn't react in the way that you thought they were going to react, or they didn't do what you could have sworn blind was going to happen, what you had built up in your mind to be the consequence of whatever actions, and it didn't happen that way at all. What do you think that was all about? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He has the answers. And when we think that we have to have them all, when we think that we are the ones in control, then we create this false narrative and we buy into that. What I help my clients do is help them see the possibility of their lives, the possibility and the capabilities that they have in creating beliefs that serve them, in firstly understanding how they work, and helping them to manage their time, their minds, their energy, their focus, their intentions, their lives, and helping them create the lives that they want, to live a life that they absolutely love, all within taking full opportunity, taking full advantage, if you like, of everything, all the blessings that they can attribute to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the ways that they want to live a life that's pleasing to Him. And yes, we have the tenets of our faith, absolutely, we have the ibadah, we have the ways in which, what is incumbent on us, what is farad for us. But outside of that, how we live every day, there are blessings to be had in everything we do. That's why our faith, it's not a religion, it's a way of life. It's how we live our lives. So to live a life that is pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, well, first of all, you've got to have, up here and in here, the foundation of the thoughts and the beliefs that promote the actions, the deeds that you go out, that I go out every day and perform, that are pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you want to know how that will work for you, if you are a professional Muslim woman and you have been feeling, a bit overwhelmed during these days of Dhul Hijjah, and there are a lot of plates spinning, there is a lot of stuff that you feel that you should be doing, could be doing, and you just don't get round to it, and you are giving yourself a hard time, and you think, oh, well, that's just me, and you hope and you fingers crossed tomorrow will be different, and it's not different, it's the same old, and you want that to change, but you don't know where to start. You might have tried a load of things, you might have tried a load of quick fixes, you might have tried a load of short-lived techniques, but if you tried all of that and it's still not worked, then let's have a conversation and let's talk about what is going on in your life, what is going on in your mind, what you are experiencing, how by taking you through the process of the understanding of you as taken from the Quranic psychology, the science of the nafs, can help you not just make things a little better, but can actually change your life, can transform it, can optimize it, can help you show up in your world, in all areas of your life, in a way that inspires, motivates you, and that is pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you'd like to know how, then let's talk. You can either DM me or email connect@farahalabi.com, and we can arrange my next available consultation slot. As always, I pray that you are safe, well, happy and healthy, and inshallah I'll connect again with you very soon. But for now, take care. Assalamu alaikum.